Amla, written by Brendan Powell. Number 3, Danjing, now written by Graham Bradley in place of Jamie Osborne. 4, Edelweiss du Moulin, written by Paul Carberry. 5, Flowback, John Kavanagh. 6, Marchant Ming, Mark Dwyer. 7, No Pattern, Lorcan Wire. 8, Our Chris, Blinkered, written by Mick Fitzgerald. 9 is Zabadi, written by Tony McCoy. 10, Debutante Days, Jason Titley. 11, Hatter Breeze, Richard Dunwoody. And 12, Mistanget, written by Carl Llewellyn.
And we have joint favourites here. 3-1 Edelweiss du Moulin and Debutante Days, 3-1 each. 5-1 then Mistanget and Hatter Breeze. 6-1 Our Chris from 5. 7-1 Zabadi. 10-1 Marchant Ming, that was well backed with Victor Chandler this morning. 14-1 Danjing. Then 50 is No Pattern and Amla. 66-1 Flowback.
And they're running. And Danjing it is nearest to us. And on the far side, Our Chris. Our Chris, the leader, from Danjing in the early stages. Marchant Ming. And then comes Mistanget as they race towards the first flight. Long run to it. Our Chris from Danjing, Marchant Ming and Mistanget. And over on the far side, No Pattern. Just in behind them, Amla, Debutante Days. At the second, Our Chris, Danjing, Marchant Ming, Mistanget. No Pattern on the far side. Hatter Breeze up with the pace. Edelweiss du Moulin over on the far rail, about ninth at the moment. Over the third, Our Chris and Danjing from Marchant Ming and No Pattern, and then Amla and Mistanget and Hatter Breeze, then Debutante Days, then Zabadi, then Edelweiss du Moulin, and the back marker is Flowback. But still, Our Chris making it from Danjing on the outside. Marchant Ming comes next, and then Mistanget. Then on the inside, No Pattern. On the outside is Hatter Breeze. Amla on the inside then. Then comes Zabadi. Debutante Days, and behind them Edelweiss du Moulin. And still the back marker is Flowback, and still up front is the Million in Mind partnership horse. And we lost Edelweiss du Moulin on the flat there. Edelweiss du Moulin went on the flat. And still up front at the fifth, Our Chris. Our Chris disputing it from Danjing. Marchant Ming on the inside. Debutante Days making ground towards the outside. Mistanget still well in touch too. This is the last over on the far side. Our Chris and Danjing, these two from Marchant Ming. Mistanget. And on the far side, Debutante Days. Looking to the left now, you see Debutante Days with a sheepskin noseband, but still up front, it's Our Chris and Danjing, then Mistanget, then Marchant Ming. Then comes Debutante Days towards the outside with Hatter Breeze next. Still Our Chris and Mick Fitzgerald from Danjing. They've got 3 left to jump. Mistanget, Marchant Ming, Debutante Days being pushed along, and on the near side Amla beginning to get into it too. Racing towards the third last flight now in this Glenlivet anniversary 4-year-old novices hurdle, and still Our Chris is the Million in Mind colours from Danjing and Mistanget. Our Chris landed in the lead from Danjing, Mistanget, and over on the far side Marchant Ming. Zabadi coming with a good run too, with his white face towards the left of the picture, but it was Our Chris still there from Danjing, and Zabadi coming there still towards the near side. Under pressure is Our Chris and Zabadi motoring now and coming down to the final flight. Zabadi's going to jump it in the lead, and it puts in a mighty leap at that. Zabadi the leader from Our Chris and Danjing as they race into the closing stages. It's Zabadi under Tony McCoy, who's been second 3 times this afternoon, making no mistake this time, striding up towards the line to win this Oh, very comfortably indeed on Zabadi. Zabadi the winner with Chris second and third, Dan Jing, and fourth was Miss Tanget. And very disappointing was Debutant Days, who actually finished last of the 11 to complete, with Edelweiss du Moulin, a faller on the flat under Paul Carberry over on the far side. But this is the winner, number 9, Zabadi, owned by Lady Harris, trained by David Nicholson, and ridden by Deep Brambles Martel Grand National jockey Tony McCoy. Second was number 8, Chris, owned by the Million in Mind Partnership, Section 5, trained by Nicky Henderson and ridden by Mick Fitzgerald. And third was number 3, Dan Jing, owned by Richard Green Fine Paintings, trained by Simon Sherwood and ridden by Graham Bradley.
At 8 to 1. Second, Chris, 13 to 2, and third, Dan Jing at 16 to 1.